Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to another episode of the Traveling Hooper. Per usual, I am Calvin McGowan. It's always a pleasure to be here. Uh, in front of me is Phil.
Philip Dixon, aka the Spaghetti Man. Out here doing what I gotta do. Talking how I gotta talk. All the basketball knowledge that is in my mind shall be spewed on to the masses.
To get started, right? We are gathered here today largely to discuss um, one of Phil's favorite topics, Draymond Green. Uh,
Draymond Green, yes. Uh,
um,
when Calvin says favorite topics, uh, he means favorite topic to talk about because I think that man is the worst. And this episode of Traveling Hoopers is going to be me expressing expressing feelings that I have towards Draymond Green with the modern day context post championship, fourth championship Warriors.
okay. Um, and of course, right, more particularly, we're talking about this back and forth between him and Perkins.
Uh huh. Yeah. So
Um,
Calvin, set it up.
mhm.
Just kind of just like summarize, give a synopsis about Kendrick Perkins and his back and forth with Draymond Green, if you don't mind.
Okay, so I'll admit I'm not. I tried to find what Green was felt made Green feel compelled to like say what he said,
Uh,
but like I didn't like because like it seemed like whatever uh would have convinced him to feel compelled to like talk like that
yeah.
would have been kind of serious, but like I couldn't really find anything. At least if it's there, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But so like my basic understanding more or less amounts to Kendrick Perkins being a talking head now instead of one of the players was I guess talked about Draymond in some basketball context.
Uh huh.
Um, and
Just
for
just just critiquing him. That's literally all it was.
yeah,
Just critiquing him, finals games, so on and so forth.
right. Um, and so for whatever reason, Green felt compelled from this to um compare Perkins to Skip Bayless and, to be polite about it, called him out his name. Uh,
And let's just say let's just use the c word.
okay, cool.
Let's
Uh,
say that.
okay. Um, my only thing with that is like there's more than one c word in this context. Technically, that's beside the point though.
You're right, but I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you know.
Yeah, you're probably already aware. But yeah, he referred to Perkins as the c word, which of course did not sit well with Perkins. Uh, and Perkins, I guess, got on TikTok and aired his grievances, which I believe he took down. At least his Twitter said that he took the video down.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just it feels weirdly wild and relatively unprovoked as far as I can tell, as far as like Draymond's response to Perkins.
Yeah,
Um,
because like Draymond could have responded to a multitude of people in this way, right?
mhm,
Um, Draymond was not playing well. Uh, there's no if, ands, or buts about it. And you know Draymond wasn't playing well because there was no antics. There was no technicals. There was no kicking. There was no flailing around because he wasn't playing well. So when you're not playing well, and well for him is 12, 6, and 7. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's well for him. That's what they need for him to do for him to win. And
mhm.
he wasn't playing well up to a certain point, so people called him out on it. Kendrick Perkins wasn't the only one that called him out on it. Uh, A lot of other people did too, but you would imagine that. But the question is, why Perkins over everybody else? You know what I mean? Like, why go out here? And I think it's because of the role that Kendrick Perkins played in the NBA. That's like for his team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if you were to take Kendrick Perkins on his championship team, when he was with the Boston Celtics in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
He was a Draymond type, right? He wasn't the superstar,
Mm-hmm.
but he was a man that quote unquote did the dirty work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember right, for a lot of seasons, when he was healthy and actually playing before they traded him, whenever he played, in their whole starting five was like in sync and like actually being able to play together, they barely lost any games. So Draymond, it seems to me that Draymond might have gone after Kendrick Perkins because he was an easy target and he was and Draymond might not think, he's as good as him, because Kendrick Perkins also has championship pedigree, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So he's already done the Charles Barkley thing of going out there and talking to somebody about not having a championship. So now it's like, okay, let me go to Kendrick Perkins, who is on some kind of championship level of a team, but
Mm-hmm.
also talking bad about me. So it was like just easy pickings kind of thing, I think.
Okay. But like the thing with that though, right, is that just wouldn't, like, in the grand context of like sports, wouldn't like a commentator be a generally easier target than like another player?
In what way? What do you mean?
Just like basically, right? If you were gonna pick somebody to talk mess to, like to talk real bad about, wouldn't it generally be easier to like if you are right like an athlete who makes millions of dollars to play a game, right? Um, wouldn't like just a commentator be
You
an
mean like
easier target, like a Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith, or any of the myriad of other dudes who get paid to talk about sports and like never played at your level?
Yeah, I think that would be an easier way to go about things. But I think Draymond Green, it would be an easier way to go about things about going at just talking heads and the people that didn't actually play any NBA games.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all the ones that are of the notoriety, going after them is old news. Because at the end of the day, Draymond Green is doing this very strategically.
Okay.
Now, he might have chosen his words wrong, but who he's going after, that's a very strategic thing, right? People have gone after Stephen A. People have gone after Skip Bayless. People have gone after these people, but now he's like, but no one's gone after Kendrick Perkins. Why? How long has Kendrick Perkins been a talking head for the NBA?
Relatively short time, like the last
Not
3 years, maybe.
Not even relatively short time, like a genuine short amount of time. You know what I mean? And so, if he goes after him and he knows that Kendrick Perkins is reactionary, he knows he's reactionary. Goes after him, creates some buzz, creates some news. Like, this is like, he's being smart about what he's doing because Draymond Green, his whole MO is trying to get his name into the public eye, right? He doesn't want to get lost in the shuffle because Draymond Green easily, okay, so take away his antics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take away Draymond Green's antics.
Mm-hmm.
How many championship dynasty teams has that guy that put up Draymond Green type numbers that the next generation will forget about? A Derek Fisher type. Derek Fisher was on all those Lakers teams. Derek Fisher put up. He was essential for those Lakers teams, right? As the point guard, he put up decent numbers. But 20 years from now, 20 years from now, 15 years from now, you and I will go to the rec and go, that guy kind of plays like Derek Fisher. And the younger generation will go, who's Derek Fisher? You know what I mean? So
That's a wild concept to me.
You said what?
That's low key just a wild concept to me.
It's a wild concept, but it's true, right? Like, like
Yeah,
most dynasty teams have that kind of quote unquote glue guy, and the
yeah,
glue guy is forgettable to another generation. And Draymond Green is working hard in a variety of ways to not be in the same kind of category as a Derek Fisher type, and that's why I think that he's just trying to get his name into the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Into the atmosphere of basketball. Even if it's a good or bad, people still talking about Draymond Green. You know what I mean? Vince McMahon said this, right? Good, bad or good publicity, it's still publicity. You know what I
I
mean?
guess.
But
Yeah,
but that does not justify what he actually said, though. I'm
right.
just giving the probable justification about why he's doing it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, I got you. It's just, but it's because it's just like, okay, even with that though, it's just very, it's just kind of out of pocket.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, what I mean is just like there wasn't a reason for him to use the language he did.
Yeah.
Um, and like and maybe like you said, right, the whole thing of like, you know, even like publicity, good or bad, is still publicity. But like, I don't know, like even then though, right? It's like you didn't really need to do all that.
Yeah.
Um, what am I trying to say? Like,
I mean, he went too far. He went too far. He
right,
went
like,
too far, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
mhm,
And the whole good publicity is good, bad publicity, still publicity thing.
mhm.
That's not a justification for what he did.
Right, right. No, I get it. Like, I don't think there's much of a justification for the language.
Uh,
Um, but I don't know. I guess it's just me turning it around in my head a little. It's
what
just
do you mean?
like, okay, so if we're gonna be like, okay, Draymond was strategic, at least with like who he went after.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't he also be strategic with the words he uses? Right?
Yeah.
Um, but like, if we then make the argument that he was strategic and thought about what he said before he said it,
Uh-huh.
then like, I don't know. If we assume that is true, it strikes me
Yeah.
as a bit more malicious than if like he was just like talking out of his ass.
No, I get that. See, I want to believe that. I want to believe that he's truly being strategic. But then at the end of the day, okay, let's just take his basketball style for what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is a reactionary guy
Mm-hmm.
and just does things to do things. So in my mind, I'm like, is he actually being reactionary? Is he actually being reactionary? Or is he being strategic? And
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually, I can see it going both ways.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But also, he's smart enough that, sure, on the basketball court, competitive spirit, whatever it is, but he's talking, and he wants this to be like his jumping off point. His podcast is jumping off point to a further career in media, whatever it is, right?
Right.
So but is he going like a Charles Barkley route of like establishing himself as a person who can say anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But is that beneficial though? That's the real question.
But repeat that.
Is him establishing himself as like a person who can say anything
Mm-hmm.
beneficial? Is it beneficial for him and his marketing for himself? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
Charles Barkley for a long time, people called him the similar C word because he said a lot of wild things, right? But
Right.
you would think that no one else would want to go through that or put themselves in a situation, or Draymond Green's smart enough to not put himself in a situation. But I don't know this man's personal opinions on things like that though.
Like, but it's just like they're kind of weirdly opposite, right? It's like Barkley comes across as like, and this isn't like to like this is like Barkley, right? As a persona comes across as like kind of for lack of better phrasing here, a bit goofy and a bit out of touch.
Okay.
Um,
Touch. Okay, I get that.
like I'm not sure if I'm phrasing it correctly,
No,
but
you're phrasing it
like a
correct.
person like he doesn't come across as particularly bright, but like then like you hear him talk for a while and you realize, oh, he knows a little, like he's actually making some sense.
Yeah.
Like even if like you don't necessarily agree with everything.
Yeah.
And but like Green is very he comes across like he knows exactly what he's talking about when he
Exactly.
talks about basketball. And like so and like I get on some level I feel like he is the kind of person who um kind of likes to be like antagonistic and kind of likes to instigate stuff
Yeah.
based on what I understand of him as like a basketball player in particular. Um
I mean, from what you're saying, and I think I can summarize it pretty well. Charles
mhm,
Barkley is an entertainer.
mhm.
Draymond Green wants to be an actual basketball analyst. That's what it comes across as, at least.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a sticky situation when you try to mold the two into one thing. Because now I don't know if you're being serious or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Draymond Green wants people to take him seriously. He wants to come up with some serious guy. But it's also like, are you actually serious? You know what I mean? If you're doing stuff like this, so it's melding and mushing together two worlds that aren't generally put together because there are, you know, as you watch NBA, there are entertainers, and there are analysts,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Paul Pierce was an entertainer.
Mhm.
JJ Redick's an analyst. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Right.
So which one is Draymond Green? Which one?
Like I feel like by his nature he's really more of an analyst, but like he wants some of the I'm in fairness, I don't really know what they are. Like some of the perks, benefits, what have you, of also like being of like be of entertainers, which I guess is a certain amount of leeway to just say stuff, even though like he doesn't really need that.
Yeah.
Um, it's just like because he
Who?
knows what he's
Hey, who doesn't?
talking. I'm talking about Green. Like Draymond
So
doesn't
like,
really need to.
if Charles Barkley is a top 3 NBA player of all time, and he just does that, he's putting forth a formula that works.
Mhm.
So Draymond might not need that, but Draymond's no Charles.
Right.
And on his best day, he's nowhere near a Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? So
Right.
how do you know who needs it? So how can you figure out who needs it and who doesn't need it?
Well, it's just like I think the thing is, right? We talk about like you said, entertainers and analysts, and like the thing is, Draymond would naturally slide into like into the analyst role, right?
Yeah.
And he's very good at that to the point where like I
Yeah.
feel like he doesn't need to force it. He doesn't need to try and like force being an entertainer because he's
Yeah.
good enough at being an analyst that like that can get him to whatever places he wants to go to post like when he retires.
But look, once again, we're saying all this. It literally could just be he had a lapse in judgment.
Yeah,
It literally could be that simple.
yeah,
Like,
you're right.
but in my mind, it's like, okay, lapse in judgment. He gotta apologize
Hmm.
because, like, if he doesn't apologize, is it a lapse in judgment then,
At a certain point,
or is it ego?
right? Let's say it is a lapse in judgment, at least initially. At a certain point, though, you're basically just doubling down on that. At which point it
Uh-huh.
is, like you said, it is ego. It is pride. It is, I don't know, just the general foolishness of humanity.
Yeah.
Um, and all these dudes that we talk about, like these wildly gifted athletes, are very human and is not immune to being prideful or
That's
arrogant or
that's
just
true,
an
but
asshole.
that's true. But let's say we we don't people don't generally take Kwame Brown seriously because
Hmm.
Kwame Brown's Kwame Brown.
Right.
Draymond Green pretends like Kwame Brown doesn't pretend he's something more than Kwame Brown. Draymond Green pretends and gives off that he's something larger than the role that he played in these championship teams, right? And
Okay.
so And so, with that being the case, people are going to take him seriously, and he has to be strategic about what he says. So, a lapse of judgment for what he's trying to give off is negates a lot of what's going on with him.
That's fair. Just because like, and like regardless of like whether or not he like, I feel like relative to his role, he has a fairly big personality.
Mm-hmm.
But like the role that he played, and like especially right once you get to hear him, talk about it, like he's very kind of methodical and deliberate in how he approaches things.
Yeah.
Right. And so like you hear him talking like just that, as well as that hearing people talk about like how good of a defender he is and how like intentional he is with it also lends credibility. But like you said, it kind of gets undermined when like you do like you talk like this.
Yes.
Right. Because like it's just like you are a person who when you talk, at very least when you talk about basketball, people are going to take you halfway seriously. But like if you're going to just be coming out of your ass constantly,
essentially, yes.
Saying whatever.
You can't just be saying whatever. He does say whatever. And at some point, it had it ridiculous. I'm going to come back and bite him. But in all actuality, I don't know if this will even come back and bite him. Yeah. I think he's going to continue on. It's going to be shoved down. It's going to continue on. Because in the next couple of weeks, he's going to say something else.
Probably.
Because he's been on this campaign of y'all kind of the South, y'all kind of the South, y'all kind of the South. He's been on this whole campaign since they won championship.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to continue on. I mean, I hope he apologizes. I really do. But if he doesn't apologize, I would not be surprised.
Me neither.
But he's trash, so whatever. I mean, I never liked him as a player. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, I never thought him a player. He's Patrick Beverley, but just happens to be 6'8". Like 100%. So I've never really been a fan of him as a player. But now you can't say that about another man. You really can't say that. And it's disrespectful, it's indecent, it's ignorant, especially to say kind of stuff in the public eye, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if you believe it at all, right? If you're of that level, you gotta move. You gotta move a little bit different, and right. He generally does move a bit different. But this was lack of judgment, lack of character, whatever. And I don't care if it gets shoved down. Philip Dixon's not gonna forget.
Yeah. But it also feels like one of those things that like it both kind of matters, and like you said, some other stuff's gonna happen. We're gonna forget about it, or like it's not necessarily forgotten about, but like people move on.
Yeah, people do move on. But next, but real quick, can we talk about how Kendrick Perkins has a TikTok?
We can. I know nothing. Like, look. When you brought this to when you put this in the group chat, when I saw it, I'd woken up from a nap. Right? It's just like what's Phil talking about? And so like I go and look it up, and it's just like, oh, it's like, well, what did Perkins say? And like I can never find what Perkins actually said to get like to make Green feel compelled to say that. I did see Perkins' response though.
Oh,
and he was not pleased. Understandably so.
Perkins is also big country. Like, Calvin, you from the sticks. You know. I'm from the sticks. I know. Big old country people, black dudes who humongous with twangs like Kendrick Perkins. You don't mess with them. You don't mess with them because they stronger than anything you've ever seen in your life. Right? And also, that man was a center in the NBA and had like an enforcer type role. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want no smoke, Draymond. Draymond, a grown man, and kick people in the private parts. That's what Draymond's literally. That's one of the things he's known for in the NBA. being a dirty player and kicking dudes.
Yeah.
You don't want no smoke with no real like Kendrick Perkins. He may be goofy sometimes, but here's his response. He wasn't playing games.
Oh no.
Where is he from?
I might have to pull that up. I don't know offhand.
Because that accent kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. The accent crazy. It's strong.
Okay. Let me double check this before I say it in. Let's see. So it looks like he is from Texas, I think. Yeah.
He's from Texas.
Yeah, from Texas.
Okay. Well, they big in country out there too. You know what I mean? But he sound like he from the southeast, the deep south. You know what I mean? So he got some roots in some places. But you know, Texas they alright too. But nah. Listen, we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
Because if you all haven't noticed, I've been making dinner. Kendrick Perkins, keep on doing what you're doing. Your takes aren't as bad as Paul Pierce's, but they're not fantastic. Draymond, stop getting so hurt. Calling people out their names in a public eye in ways you shouldn't call them out their names, because you might get slapped up. Just because you won 4 championships doesn't mean you're nothing better than Derek Fisher. Yeah, I hate that man. Continue. I don't hate no man. I just strongly dislike your game. There you go.
I mean, I don't have anything in particular to comment about this because, like this is one of those internet things, right? For me, where it's like, where it's just like like when you finally decide to like look on like social or whatever, it's this thing that's just there, and it's just like, wait, that's a thing that happened,
yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah,
it's just like people, like, another example of an internet thing, real quick, is like, I don't know, apparently, some of the Warriors, and I think Draymond, I'm not sure, because like had some stuff to say in reference to Ja Morant or the Grizzlies or something, and it's just like, and like there were a lot of Warriors fans, whatever. I think this was like Twitter, and it's just like, wait, what are y'all even talking about?
Yeah,
it's just like, folks aren't thinking about y'all for real. Just isn't Golden State still supposed to be drunk and celebrating?
Supposed to be, but they're on Twitter.
But yeah, it's just like, okay, it's just like one of those things. Like, oh, this was just why are y'all wasting energy doing this?
See, but Steph's not wasting energy. Other people are. The best player on the team is not wasting energy.
But Draymond definitely is.
But that's what he does. Waste energy, bum.
Wow. Okay. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up so that you can eat dinner at 11 o'clock at night.
I'm
But all right, y'all. Once again, this has been another episode of the Traveling Hooper. Thank you for sticking with us to the end here. If you're joining us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, and something in the comments. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I guess I'll let Phil, close us out.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Phil Dixon, aka Dinner at Midnight Man. And like Calvin said, like, subscribe, click that bell for notifications. Everything that Watch Mojo makes you do, we do too. Period.